Keep showing the dog.
I think it's now. But okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Five Out Ball Knowers Podcast, episode 22. My name is Graham Dinas. I'm going to be running the point today. I am joined once again by Austin Harrelson, Brendan Evers, and Lance Thomas. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Saturday.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Before we get started, as always, just want to remind you guys, links are in the description to fiveoutpod.com, which is the hub of all our information. We've got, I believe, some new articles on the way. We've got new articles up now from Austin. We've got our My Weekly Bracket that you can find on fiveoutpod.com. And then, obviously, all our other socials are linked in the description as well. I think we're going to have a few changes coming our way. So make sure you follow us on socials to keep up with the latest information on that. Some new types of content possibly as well. And then obviously like this video and subscribe to the YouTube page because that is where we're at now. But yeah, let's get into it. I want to start today just kind of putting a bow on the college football season. We've kind of led with college football for the past couple months. And even though this game was about a week ago at this point, I do want to start with that. The Indiana Hoosiers cap off their perfect season, 16-0, champions of the Big Ten, winners of the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl, and obviously national champions. They beat the 10th seeded underdog Miami Hurricanes 27-21. A game that I predicted on this podcast, and I feel like the general consensus was this is going to be a blowout. Miami played a tremendous game. They were able to stay, like they had a drive to win it. And of course, in poetic fashion, their season ends on a Carson Beck interception. But yeah, Austin, I'll give it to you as our hurricane in the state of Indiana. What were your takeaways from the game?
Miami played so much better than I thought they would. I think they kind of went out there, and I think even Carson Beck played better than I thought he would.
He played very well overall.
And which at this point for him, he's playing to up his draft stock. Now, do I think he did that? No, not at all.
Oh.
But Malachi Tony, arguably a top. He's probably going to be projected to be a top 3 receiver next year during the college football season. He played incredible. He just keeps doing it. That defense was so good. And Mario Cristobal fashion, right? They have a drive to go win the game. And, Carson Beck does Carson Beck things. It was a good game. I think that both teams, and I know I've said it a few times, both teams are just set up for the future. I mean, both those squads, Indiana hit the transfer portal hard. Miami's they're going to keep recruiting. They're going to keep pulling guys from the transfer portal. I think their biggest question heading into next year would be quarterback at this point. But they'll get it. They'll figure it out, right? They figured it out with Carson Beck. They did it with Cam Ward. Both these teams are going to be competing for national championships in the coming years, right? So, but this year, such a fun college football playoffs. Just all together. I think it was just all so much fun. And every game, except for the first round, right?
Once we got out of the round 1.
Yeah, and then the Texas Tech and Oregon game, that sucked too. And wow, I guess anybody that Indiana played besides Miami really stunk. But it was so fun. The Ole Miss game was awesome. The Georgia Ole Miss game was awesome. Just it's so much fun. Indiana, that's one of the best college football teams I've ever seen play. They just, week in, week out, they dominated. And they're going to be back at it next year. That, like I said, they hit the transfer portal really hard during this playoff run. And they're going to be in the same say as they are right now. And so shout out to Curt Cignetti. I just wrote an article about NIL, but Curt Cignetti really changed that program. And yeah, maybe they're going about it in a way that a lot of people don't like because, of their use of the NIL. But who cares? It's Indiana football. They've never been good, ever. And so shout out Indiana University.
Yeah.
I want to know are there Indiana fans going to act like the sky is falling next year if they lose a game?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
They're gonna go full like Alabama.
it's
Like
I'm just saying, it's impossible, guys, to go 16-0 every year. Like
I heard that
you will lose at some point. But holy cow!
I know some people out here that went to. I know some people out here that went to Pasadena to watch Alabama play Indiana, and they said Indiana had the worst fans and that they were all pieces of trash. Like they were the people they'd met. I was like, wow. I was like, that kind of surprises me, but then I was like,
I think
I remember. No, that's right. I remember my roommate whenever I was in college, and closest friend Tyler. He worked for Nebraska football, and whenever they went out there to Indiana, he was like, that's the first time I've ever been heckled by like children.
Yeah,
and he's like, they literally just have no idea how to win. They don't know how to act.
Brand new for them. They don't know what to do with themselves because they've just kind of come up out in the last 2 years and became a major power in the sport. Charlie Becker is a name that I want to bring up. That guy came on strong late in the season. He was one of the main like key pieces of this playoff run for Indiana. Just kind of out of the blue.
Have you seen his game-by-game receptions?
I'm sure that it was increasing almost like exponentially.
It was like his first like 5 games of the season. He didn't have more than like 4 receptions in a game.
2. He went 1 catch, 2 catch, 1, 2, 1, and then 7 for 118 against Penn State.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing, bro.
Who had 34 catches all season was like a key contributor to a national championship team at a very important position, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what Curt Cignetti does. He just brings in these veteran guys that are prepared for the moment, and
it's like they were really shut. Like that Miami defense is so good. They were shutting down Surratt and Omar Cooper. So somebody's got to. There has to be somebody open, right? Or somebody's getting one-on-one.
I mean, just 2 unbelievable back shoulder, like on key, like 3rd and long, 4th and 5, I think.
Bro, and
I think like success rate wise, I believe Miami had a better success rate than Indiana.
Yeah,
but I think that's just a testament. Yeah, I believe that's just a testament to Miami's defense keeping them in that game because for a while in the first half too, Miami had no answers for Indiana's secondary.
Yeah.
Like D'Angelo Pons made a couple of insanely good plays, and then they just stopped throwing it near him.
Yeah, they had to find creative ways to get the ball to Tony, and they did that in the second half, and that's what kept them in the game. Because they were scoreless at half. It was 10-0. I thought that Indiana's getting the ball at halftime. I thought we were gonna say, well, they're gonna put together a extended scoring drive. This game's gonna be over. No, they go 3 and out, however many plays, and then Miami, Mark Fletcher busts off that 50-yard run, and it was a ball game from that point on.
Dude, can we talk about because obviously Fernando's, I think Mendoza has insane accuracy. I think that he's honestly over the time these past few weeks, after the Heisman ceremony, I was like, Jesus, this dude is I'm tired of watching this guy. I don't even think he's that great. Then as the weeks progress, I'm like, geez, that dude's great. But besides the fact that he's actually really good at football, I don't know how many times I've seen an Indiana receiver go up and make one of the most wild grabs I've ever seen in my life. Every single play.
Yeah,
it's like these the dude against Penn State. I don't know if that was Surratt or Cooper. I don't remember. That was ridiculous. They have these one-handed grabs in the end zone every time. It's they have whoever their wide receiver coach is. They need to pay him double.
That guy, he'll be an OC somewhere.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
So, that's the thing with Mendoza too. Is he wins the Heisman, yes, but throughout the entirety of this season, the numbers were never what stands out. He just does enough to win. He's I don't exactly I'm trying to find a comparison for him in the past. It's not quite like a Stetson Bennett. I feel like he's better than Stetson Bennett was.
Yeah, I think he's better.
But the numbers aren't going to wow you. But he's just a winner. bar none.
Yeah.
If you had to use one word to describe him, that's the one that I would use.
So, fact, and doing a little bit of research here, Mike Shanahan is the offensive and wide receiver coach for the Indiana Hoosiers, and he has been under Cignetti's staff since 2016. So, shout out Kurt Cignetti, man. He's got he's just bringing dudes from these guys have been working with him for how long, and he's at what? Oh my gosh, some of the worst colleges ever, and then JMU,
Indiana
and
University
then
of Pennsylvania, and Elon, I
yeah,
think, and then to JMU.
And imagine sticking with Cignetti through all that. He's like, we're gonna be good. Just now, that coaching staff just won a national championship. So shout out those guys, man. Shout out Bloomington.
I said this during the game. The last thing I want to talk about is I still think, despite Indiana being the better team and winning the title, the unit I was the most impressed with was the Miami defense, and more specifically their front seven and their pass rush. Ruben Bain and what's Mesidor? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Those two wrecked havoc on the Indiana passing attack. And I mentioned that that was Miami's advantage going into this game. It was like if they can win in the trenches, they're going to be at least competitive. And they were. That group was excellent.
I found myself shocked watching that game how many times on 3rd and 6 or 4th and 5 or whatever it was. But it happened 5 times that Indiana ran the ball. And it generally worked on those weird plays. But then on 2nd and 14, they would try to run the ball and it wouldn't work. But that's part of their offense. And really, when your defense is being shut down, when your receivers kind of are getting shut down, you might have to run the ball more. Yeah. Of course, I'm not actually a football coach, but I don't know. I found that interesting. The 4th and 5 quarterback draw.
That's what I was going to bring up.
For Mendoza,
an insane
that's
play.
A gutsy
an insane play call.
That I heard. I don't know what my source was on this, but I heard somewhere that they added that play to the playbook in the last week because they scouted something schematically that Miami did on QB draws or in those situations that they knew they were going to pick up the 5 yards on a QB draw with that play.
And that was the most heroic play I've seen in a while. That dude, man,
he just wouldn't go down.
That's why I respect Mendoza. He had nuts that play, dude.
Did you see the
still of the guy holding his nuts in the wheelbarrow? That was
that was nuts.
That play.
Did you see the clip or the picture that Holly Rowe posted of his arm after the game?
Yeah, just
he was battered and bruised. He's like, this is what it takes to win a national championship.
He said, "Hit me from the front, hit me from the back."
Yeah, that was sus as hell, bro. Because what the hell? What the hell is he saying, bro? He went on McAfee's show earlier in the year and said,
"Bro, he's on
Jimmy
Kimmel and shit. He's on he's on a Hollywood tour run right now after winning the national championship."
That movie.
He should be. He won the Heisman and the Natty.
Yeah, he's earned it.
He can say whatever he wants.
Joe Burrow was just smoking cigars and smoking frat chicks. But, I mean, hey.
The other thing I want to talk about, and we don't have to spend a ton of time on this. Did any of you guys actually watch the full Dabo Swinney 8-minute rant?
Oh, I watched 5 minutes of it. Yeah.
Okay, break it down for me because I've heard so much about it. I have not seen the video.
I think are you implying where he was talking about Pete Golding was?
Yes. Yeah.
Ring. Yeah, dude. This dude. Because I think I've seen, because obviously I think most of us here, I don't know if you have been aware, but Clemson and Dabo just didn't dip into the transfer portal at all.
Have.
Yeah, they never.
They don't do it. So here they go. They go grab this linebacker who commits to them and stuff, and this dude pulls out a text conversation between Pete Golding and this guy's agent of complete tampering. It just goes on a 5-7 minute tangent on how he should be prosecuted, how this is the problem, how frequent this is, and he was kind of just kind of just rage-induced, just screaming at the fact that tampering is so like
Normalized.
nothing happens with it.
Sports.
Which I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a point. But like,
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to college basketball later because there's a story
Yeah.
tonight that's very.
Yep.
I remember last year Matt Brule literally talking about how now there's two kinds of recruiting that you have to do, and it's literally you have to be constantly recruiting transfers and kids out of high school, and then you also have to be recruiting your own team constantly now to stay there, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Retention is so important in college sports
It is.
too. Especially like when you're good. Like I understand that like if your team's not good, then sure, like you can let guys walk, but if you are looking to be competitive with the guys you have, you absolutely need to recruit those guys again to stay because everyone's just on a 1-year deal. And
yeah, and that's what's crazy to me. I see re-signed. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching, dude? This is dumb.
Darian Mensah, who signed a 2-year deal and then broke his contract.
Yeah,
so.
or Devon Williams. That one was nuts.
Yeah, a lot of issues with college football that we don't need to get into today, but just in general, the state of collegiate sports.
Yeah, that would be a good that would be a good summer episode, like 5 out fixes college football.
Yeah. We'll write that down. We'll save it. We'll save it for
we'll write that down real quick.
Okay, moving to the NFL. Let's do a little preview of the conference championship games tomorrow. Starting with the AFC championship game between the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos obviously are without Bo Nix today, but they are at home and they are 4.5-point underdogs. Last week they have the walk-off overtime field goal to beat the Buffalo Bills, and New England coming off just a dismantling of the Houston offense. CJ Stroud looking just putrid. Lance, I'll start with you. One of the newest New England fans.
Sorry, I'm screaming at my dog.
Yeah, give me your thoughts.
I'm fully on the bandwagon. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yeah, give me your thoughts on New England Patriots.
So there's two sides of this. There's multiple. Actually, there's a lot of sides of this. I feel like they're trying to create a narrative. Hold up. Sorry. I think they're trying to create a narrative of how New England's never won in Denver. And they're also trying to create this whole heroic story with Jarrett Stidham, who's a bum. Sorry, but he's a bum.
Yeah.
I think I don't see where they win this game without Bo Nix, but crazier things have happened. I can't just sit here. We've seen Nick Foles come in and do the unthinkable against New England, so it's not like they're just.
I forgot about Nick Foles and that whole arc.
Yeah, exactly. I think Mike Vrabel wins these games, though. I think Vrabel wins these games, and I personally think if they do. So this is the biggest problem. What I've seen the last 3 games, because I like Will Campbell, but he's a liability right now. This dude is getting torched off the edge. That's why Drake May has had freaking multiple strip sacks last game. Granted, he was doing Will Campbell, right? Who's an All-Pro. So, I get it. Or not Will Campbell, sorry, Will Anderson, who's an All-Pro. And then this game, he's got to do against Nick Bonita, who's also a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. So, for me, if he can just lock in and seal that edge, I don't see who stops him. And plus, they have too many threats at receiver right now. Well, not really threats, but they have 2 solid wide receiver ones, in my opinion. Booty's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
And obviously, PS2 is going to be on Diggs. So, as long as they can torch Riley Moss, I think they win this game. But,
Riley Moss,
and that's
week in, week out.
Easy to do, funny enough.
That's my favorite thing to watch in the NFL right now is just how is Riley Moss being attacked?
Yeah,
on a week
exactly.
Basis? Because you don't want to go at Pat Surtain ever if you can avoid it.
Yeah. But then again, this is Vrabel who said he'd cut off his penis to win a Super Bowl, and that's the guy I'm taking. So
yeah, he said that.
That is electric.
Austin,
you got on our butt and said that.
Your thought.
That's one way to inspire the troops.
Does that not inspire you?
Oh my God!
Get me to run through a wall.
But
Austin, would
I
you
would
cut
cut
off your
my
penis
off
for the
just to
Brewers to
love
win
the
the
game.
World Series?
I'd cut my dick and balls off for the Chicago go out there and win a fucking Super Bowl, man. I would, dude. Like, and I tell people this, okay, because I get a lot of questions of, well, you like the Bears, but you're a Brewers fan, okay? And yeah, okay,
Who's
fine.
asking?
A lot more people than you think.
Austin, are you a bigger Bears fan or a Brewers fan? See, like it just comes out
The
organically.
baseball is my favorite sport.
Oh my God,
I
audio
love
conveniently
everything
cut
about
out
it.
there.
But being a
Oh my!
You're good. Keep going.
shit, am I good?
You're good. Keep going.
So oh my gosh, like being a Bears fan is just a whole different. It's like a whole different thing outside of baseball. Chicago Bears, I'd cut my dick and balls off to watch them win a Super Bowl. Yes, I would do. I would never. I'd love to see a Brewers World Series, but that's where I stand.
So you'd love to see a Brewers win the World Series, but not at the experience of your dick.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
I hate that I've said that
it's a
too many
completely
times now.
environment,
Also,
right? Like football is like you run through a fucking wall for these people. Baseball's just not that sport, Like you don't it's not like that.
I think it's also for me because correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't the MVP and all the like finals and awards and stuff come out the week of the Super Bowl? Isn't that like the same time frame?
Yeah. Yes.
I think a Stafford Drake May MVP ? Super Bowl matchup would be pretty sick in my opinion.
That would be cool. I think that's what'll happen
again-
personally.
But then again,
like if I didn't want the Patriots to win, I'd want Sam Darnold to come in and take it home because of what he's been through and who he is. But I want the Patriots.
He's
to
a baller,
win.
man.
But, I think the Sam Darnold arc is awesome.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Yep.
Brendan, your thoughts on
That-
Denver, New England in the afternoon.
I've been saying this for weeks now, and I'm like, I could be like clipped off as like the hater of the Broncos, but like that's not that good of a football team. They're literally, everyone hated on the Chiefs last year for winning every game that was like within like one score. The Broncos do that to like another level. That they're just the Chiefs this year. Like they're winning every game that's close. Also, I just don't see how you win a playoff game against a good New England team with a backup quarterback. Like you have to have Bo Nix for this kind of game. And we saw last week, well, CJ Stroud played like shit, but we saw last week that New England's defense is nothing to scoff about, right? Like everyone, the narrative coming in was that that the Texans defense would be the reason they could win the game. Well, that was the reason it wasn't a worse score. Like CJ Stroud, that may have been one of the worst playoff games performances I've ever seen.
Are we going to get into that, by the way? Are we going to talk about that?
I mean, yeah, do it now. Sure. Like,
I mean, we've
That-
opened the can of
Yo,
holy cow!
Yo,
4 interceptions
Again,
at halftime.
I have buddies that are Houston fans because I just from the Air Force have met people all over sports fans, and the stuff this guy was saying about, dude, I don't know how any coach. Again, this is no dig on D'Amico Ryans. I don't know how you can watch this guy throw 4 picks and have a 27 QB rating at fucking halftime and go, "You're my guy. You're gonna stay in the second half, and you're gonna come out and you're gonna do better." Like, dude, I don't care. That was the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. Like, actually,
Well,
that was like bad. That was bad.
in
What if it was a call from upstairs?
2022, I think the 2022-2023 playoffs, right? That was the wild card game where Trevor Lawrence threw 4 or 5 picks in the first half against LA, and he came back and won that game. Not that Trevor Lawrence is CJ Stroud, right? There's precedent that is not an insurmountable deficit.
Dude, and honestly, before we even, because this is not even just, this is a CJ Stroud thing. I was talking to a dude yesterday again who was a Texans fan, and even when I said it, it kind of like, I was like, damn, that's kind of insane. Like, you see so much that a first-year quarterback, barring like Jaden Daniels, right? But like Drake May, Caleb, and all that, they don't have the greatest first year ever, right? Like they kind of slowed. Like they're rookies.
Yeah.
Then
Justin
the next
Fields.
year, and they start ramping it up. They start, or like Peyton Manning. You know, any great quarterback kind of usually has a shitty first year in the quarter. Like it's just how it is. C.J. Stroud had a phenomenal rookie year, and then it's just regressed. I think he's the most opposite thing I've ever seen.
It's a
I don't know
super
how
interesting career progression for C.J. Stroud.
It's weird.
I don't really understand it because he appeared to be he was a top 10 quarterback coming in immediately.
100%.
And you thought that you would at least get like solid QB play, and he was that for most of the year. But then he'll have these moments like he did last week where he just completely lapses and is like borderline unplayable. Let me do a little bit of vouching for the Denver Broncos in this game tomorrow, because I've been high on the Denver Broncos all year. Not like I understand, obviously, like Brendan's point is very well made about how they win these one-score games, but the truth is they win those games. The Chiefs last year made the Super Bowl. They got blown out once they got there, but
I'm just saying you can't consistently be not favored in games and keep winning.
Yeah, well,
like the math is stacked in your. Yes, I'm saying just because they've done it in the past does not mean it's a guarantee that will happen now.
Every game is an independent event, yes, but the Denver Broncos, they're at home. They have one of the league's top 3-4 defenses, right? And like we mentioned, Pat Surtain is a menace. Nick Bonino is great in the front seven. They have a good group. Their defense has kept them in games, and Bo Nix is not – he's never been a world beater at quarterback. Now, I don't know – like how big the drop off. Yeah, I'm sure Austin will pick him back up. I'm not sure how big the drop off is from Bo Nix to a good backup quarterback, which is what Jarrett Stidham needs to be if they are going to win.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be a good backup quarterback. The big issue that I see is Bo Nix. If you compare him across the league with like every other quarterback, the skill that he is the best at is his sack avoidance, right? He does not get sacked very often. He's getting the ball out quick, or he's extending plays using his legs, picking up a couple yards. Jarrett Stidham, in his limited time, has been shown to take sacks. That's an issue. That is what I think can be exploited. With that being said, from 2019 to 2021, when he was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees had a lot of injuries, and Sean Payton won a lot of games with backup quarterbacks. If you remember, Teddy Bridgewater comes in, he goes 5-0. Across 2 years, Taysom Hill goes 7-2 as a starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston steps in, he goes 5-2 in 2021 as a starter. Sean Payton has precedent for winning games with backup quarterbacks. That's a strength of his as a head coach. And so I don't know if they'll win because New England is obviously very good. They have almost as good, if not an equally good defense as Denver. And obviously Drake May is going to be better than Jarrett Stidham. But
I would say this is a battle of two good coaches, right? Like Sean Payton is a good coach and Mike Vrabel is an excellent coach. So if Denver is able to win this game, I would say it's because Sean Payton and that staff were able to work some miracle to make the offense just competent enough without Bo Nix. But I don't think.
But would Sean Payton?
I don't know.
Dick?
I don't. He's never said that.
Because he's already won one.
Yeah.
Because he already has.
We don't know for sure. He may have done it already. There's just no way of knowing.
Austin, put that clip on Twitter.
I got that. We don't know if Sean Payton still has.
Also.
Good point. We don't have confirmation of anything.
Yeah, there's just no way to know.
It could be a mangina. Denver is hard to play on, no matter who you are, where you are.
The altitude.
Like
Mile High that's an incredibly
hard.
tough home. Like the fact that the Denver got the 1 seed and the bye and the home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs is super important because the elevation difference does play a factor. And whenever they've done it all year, they're more well suited to play in that environment. I think the Broncos will at least cover. I think I'm still going to take them outright. I've bought all the way in on the backup quarterback Nick Folesian, Sean Payton hype train at home in Denver. And I've been on the Broncos all year. Who would I be if I went back on my word now? So I'm going Denver.
That is fair. That's true. That's true.
I'm assuming the rest of you guys are going to be on New England.
Next week, Graham, if the Broncos win, is going to be able to
cut
float.
off your dick.
Where Graham was right. We'll see.
Yeah.
Graham has to cut off his dick if the Broncos lose. Put it.
I didn't say that. I did not say that, and I won't do that because I don't really care. The other game tomorrow evening, 5:30 Central on Fox. We have round 3 of Seahawks and Rams. They split in the regular season. The Seahawks just firmly dismantled the San Francisco 49ers, which was overdue for a team that was playing with, like, it was an uphill battle for San Fran all year. They're getting banged up every week, and their defense is just a skeleton crew, and it finally caught up with them last week. And then the Rams win just a heartbreaker, an instant classic in overtime in the elements in Chicago. Congrats to them. What a game. But that is where we stand. The line on this one, Seattle is a 2.5-point home favorite, which would essentially mean, like, you think the home team gets about 3 points on the line. So essentially a pick 'em on a neutral field is how Vegas views this game. Someone go ahead.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Austin. Go.
I don't know, dude. I go back and forth. These are the two best teams left in the postseason. Let's just get that out of the way.
Like,
these two teams are the two best teams left. I think that what on the AFC side is whatever, right? The Seahawks have been so good, and they were so good last week. I mean, they absolutely dominated. Zach Charbonnet's gone. So that means it's going to be Kenneth Walker's show. He is electric. I love Kenneth Walker. Rams sucked last week. Like they sucked. Which granted, it was. I mean, the weather was Chicago's favor. Out of this, yada yada, that right.
Great point, Austin.
But like, watch that game.
Anyone tracking what he just said, or
yeah,
and
I followed.
you'd sit there.
The people followed.
Flip it.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself, dude.
He's
Holy
in the back
fucking
of a mattress
shit!
farm. He's in the mattress farm.
I don't know. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm screaming.
I will say the most consistent
bit.
The most consistent bit that we have here on 5 Out is Lance and Austin's battle with Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
lag it out.
It's every week. Yeah, Austin, I can't believe that Austin. I mean, Austin's been on the show probably 16 times now, and like I don't think there's been one show that he's made it through cleanly without any problems. It's disastrous. He's got to get like a LAN cable or something. Like we got to figure that out.
Would you like my take on the Rams?
Please.
I think the Seahawks win this game. I think the Seahawks win the game, but I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
I'm thinking walk-off field goal. I feel like that's coming.
I wouldn't mind that.
I will say, because Seattle is at home, I could see a world where maybe LA gets a little bit flustered. That's a tough place to play. You will be battling a bit more of the elements. But both of their regular season matchups were great football games. So I don't know. I see the Seahawks winning this one, especially since I would say that the Seahawks, maybe they could overlook it a little bit, but like last week they ran through San Francisco, a team who's played both times they played in the regular season. It was so much closer than that. Like whatever they schemed up last week, if they do anything on a similar level this week, it's not going to be close.
Yeah.
And I think this is the Super Bowl. Like if you ask me, this is the Super Bowl. Whoever wins this game is winning. So,
Lance, I'll kick it to you.
Seattle's scary, dude. I don't know. Like, because like honestly, truth be told, I didn't watch the whole game because they were taking so bad. I was like, yeah, this is just okay. I think Seattle's scary this year, and I like honestly, I think they are the best team. Like y'all said, I think they're easily the team to win, if anything. The Rams just scraped by against Bryce Young and Ted McMillan I still don't see them pulling it off. I think Seattle wins by kind of a landslide again. Not like nearly as much as it was last time, but I think they're gonna get throttled again on national television.
Looking at the two,
just too much. It's so good.
Yeah. Looking at the two previous meetings, right? So what was the first one's week 11, maybe week 12? Sam Darnold overall was the much better quarterback. Matt Stafford had a lot of. He was not very accurate with his passing, but Sam Darnold throws 4 picks. Okay, and that's the issue. They lose by 2.
That was that game.
LA wins by 2, 21-19, and that was 3 months ago. Now, a month ago, one of the last games of the season, the Thursday Night Classic, we deemed the game of the year, Matt Stafford throws for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold throws for 2 picks, but Seattle wins it in overtime because they go for 2 and they get it. Incredible game, but one that you could say was won with special teams, right? That is, I think, the one. There's two sides of this. I think that the Rams overall have been the better team when these two teams have played. Even though they split, I think the Rams have performed better. They were the better team when they lost, and they were, I think, maybe slightly the better team when they won. They forced a lot of turnovers. On the other side of it, the Seattle Seahawks special teams unit has been the best in the league for most of the year, if not all the year. And on top of that, they add in Rashid Shaheed, who at this point is giving you a touchdown a week, either on a kick return or on a punt return. He's been incredible. And on top of that, the Rams special teams unit has been just a complete disaster for 3 months now. They fired their coordinator. They get a blocked punt that almost loses them the game in Carolina. So if there was ever a time in which special teams is going to make a difference in a playoff game, this would be it. But I think the Rams are a better team.
How excited are you guys to see the offensive battle of JSN and Puka?
I mean,
like, that could be awesome. Like, they could both end up with 150 yards.
First matchup, JSN goes for 9 catches, 105 yards. Puka goes 7 for 75. Last time they played, JSN 8 for 96 and a touchdown. Puka, if you remember, 12 catches, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, maybe the best receiver game of the year. And I believe that game lost me some fantasy leagues. But yeah, those are the 2 best receivers in football, I think, bar none. Right? I mean, you can throw Jamar Chase in there, but at least 2 of the 3. It's a very exciting game that I'm absolutely looking forward to. But I think I'm going to give the edge to the Rams. I just don't buy enough into the special teams aspect of it. At the same time, at least to cover, because we've talked about how the Seattle home field advantage is so big, especially in the postseason. The 12th man is a big deal. So yeah,
I would not want to play in Seattle for a playoff game for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
So you 2 are going Seattle.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Austin, you going Seattle or LA?
First off, can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Am I good to go? I switched over. Lance
kind of looks like you're on like a camcorder.
All right,
camcorder from 2005.
We can hear you for now.
So
2016 is back. So
Yeah.
Austin got out his iPhone 6 for that. So
He's on an iPad Touch. with no fucking camera.
He's had a freeze frame like this. All right,
And he's
on my
frozen.
screen
And
for
he's
a while.
frozen in
All
time.
right, there it is.
See, the more you guys make fun of him, the less time he has, the more time his internet has to disconnect, and then we won't get to hear his actual
Oh my
point.
fucking god! I'm gonna fucking scream.
You just
Holy
gotta
shit!
let him talk. You guys just gotta let him talk, and we'll hear most of it. Hopefully.
Yes, all.
Austin, you got to send me your address. I'm getting you a quote with some good internet service providers in your area
No,
this week.
I'm not even gonna shit you, bro. It works everywhere else with everything else. It's just this fucking Riverside bullshit, dude.
Are you
I can't
using
fucking
Chrome?
skate.
Are you on Chrome?
I'm always on Chrome.
Okay.
I'm
well,
always
yeah,
on Chrome.
It's best suited for Chrome.
Give me Seattle.
Okay. So you guys are
That's
all
it.
going Seattle, New England, and I'm going LA and Denver.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we can't get memed. We will not get memed. No sweeps for us. You're welcome.
Yes.
Oh my god, we should have had. We should have like the lower third graphics that people can screenshot of us,
We should do-
and then
there are
Graham
people
could
that-
seem like the smart or the dumb one.
Yeah, there are people who do the like the Instagram or Twitter posts where they like have rows and it's like this is who we all predict to win the game. I could draw one of those up in like Microsoft Word and just like make some logos.
Nice.
Yeah, we could post that. Okay, on to some coaching news before we pivot. I want to start with the Bills because we talked about a little bit about that game. Really the first game in the entirety of the Buffalo Bills Josh Allen era where I would say Josh Allen lost that game for the Bills. Right? They've never made it to the Super Bowl, but every single time they lose, it's like, well, Josh Allen left it all out on the field and he played a near perfect game. He couldn't do much more. He turned the ball over several times in this game, and you can talk about whether or not that last one was a pick or not. But the fact that this was the final straw for Sean McDermott is I don't know how to describe it. Where are you guys at with like do you feel that was the right move? Was this the right time? Go ahead, Lance.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. I've said it a couple of times. I think if you take the Josh Allen out of Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo is above 500 team. I get he had an awful game there that last game, but he is the only reason that team is competent in my eyes. I think the fact that I don't understand the firing a whole much. It must like there had to have been some reason. Did they come out and say why exactly he was fired?
My guess is it's just
Was it
like
just-
we know what our ceiling is with Sean McDermott at this point. We've hit it several
Yeah.
times, and we're gonna try something else. If it works, it's gonna work, and we are gonna make the leap. If it doesn't work, then we weren't gonna win it with him anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, I just think I don't think you get anywhere without Josh Allen. I think he's the only piece that keeps that ship moving. I don't even think it's about the coach, in my opinion. I think that team is so weirdly round. I mean, obviously James Cook's a stud. Yeah. Like I don't want to disvalue his impact, but everywhere else, I think if you take out Josh Allen, I mean, that team is ass. You know?
yeah,
I don't think they
I think
make
you
it.
could just say that
I
about
think
any of the
before they-
teams
before
that
they-
have an elite quarterback, though. Like,
You could.
well,
Definitely.
we've seen in
But
years
then again,
past.
I don't
like-
think we're having the same discussion about Andy Reid without Patrick Mahomes now, or like how good are the Rams if they don't have Stafford?
Well, we saw that with Jared Goff.
You're right. I think
Right.
that's valuable.
Like there is precedent for that
Yeah.
one. But yeah,
There is value, but I get what you're saying. That the
But all those
aside
teams
from
have-
Josh Allen. Go ahead, Austin.
Though, like you brought up Andy Reid
Go ahead, black screen.
and Matthew Stafford. It's like those ones. So you can say you can't have the same conversation that you would have with McDermott and Josh Allen because McDermott, I mean, he has faltered in the playoffs so many times. I mean, in the dumbest fucking ways possible. And so,
how many of
Yeah.
those have been
With
out
Andy
of his
Reid.
control though? You know, right? Like
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, it just continuously keeps happening. You got to change something up. What are you gonna do? You can't get rid of Josh Allen. I mean, that's your second biggest piece.
No.
So you have the coach,
Yeah.
and then you have
your star quarterback Josh Allen, obviously of Josh. So I don't know. I just don't think you can have the same conversations with Sean McDermott. You can have like an Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes because like those guys have put together some incredible teams and they've done it. They've done the damn thing. You know.
Yeah.
And
That
being
is
said-
the thing. How many times have the Bills made it to the playoffs the last 5-6 years?
I mean, every year,
Is it-
right?
They've made it every year.
Every year,
Yeah, in 2019 was Josh's
and they've
year
just
two.
lost every single time.
Yep, 2019 was Josh's year
Yeah.
2, and they've made it every year since. They have not made it past the. They've made it to the
Yeah.
AFC Championship twice, and they've lost to the Chiefs.
So yeah,
twice.
so then I get it. I think you're right. They probably just found that like their ceiling has been hit with McDermott. There's no reason to not outsource for another, entity.
Yeah, you
if
might
to
as
see
well
what's
take a-
better
take a
if you
shot
have
at
that
someone
MVP
else.
quarterback. But I mean,
Now, what I do want to talk about
but who?
is
Phillip
someone else
Rivers?
that they are interviewing is Phillip Rivers, and that's
That's
one of the funniest
questionable.
stories.
Catholic high school.
That's questionable.
I don't. What's the appeal with Phil Rivers, right? Like, why is he
Hey,
dominating
dude.
the NFL news cycle for the past 3 months? What has he done the past 5 years that
The
has
vibe-
changed?
Vibes are there. The vibes are there. He's chill as hell.
We thought that Phil Rivers' last game ever
Okay.
was going to be whenever Josh Allen beat him in the wild card in 2020 in the playoffs, and we thought that
I
was
just-
going to be it.
I have this has the potential to be memed so hard. Like he could go from coaching high school football this year to coaching an NFL team the next year just because he decided to come back and play 4 games with the Colts. He's not in this conversation
even
at
play
all. If
that
he didn't
good.
come back and
Purely
play
named.
this year.
Yeah.
Oh
This is entirely named. This is an entirely named based
No.
thing. If this was not Phillip Rivers, who the fuck pulls a high school coach? I don't care. You don't even pull IMG or like St. Thomas Aquinas or even like fucking modern days coach. Real high school football coaches. I don't care if it's Phillip Rivers. And you're gonna take a Catholic high school coach from Alabama just because he's Phillip Rivers and he came back for 4 games this year?
It's
That is the biggest abomination. If the Bills hire him, they are retarded. Oh, cut it. Sorry.
God damn it.
Cut it, Austin.
Fuck.
the,
Yep, I got it.
the only
Run it
like
back. The Bills are stupid.
the only like precedence that we have for a Phil Rivers hiring, it's completely different, but it's like whenever CBS hired Tony Romo to be their number 1 analyst, he had no experience in the booth whatsoever. He steps in immediately and he kills it for about 2-3 years, right? Like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
the best guy. He was the best guy in the game. He's gotten lazy since, but he came out firing and he
Yeah.
was excellent at it.
Yeah.
Well, you could say that about Tom Brady though too,
Yeah.
and he was not excellent last year.
No, and Tom Brady's actually improved though, which is convenient.
He's good
Romo
this
has
year.
gotten worse every year, I think.
Tom Brady.
But you know, actually, we do have precedence for this. Whenever the Colts did the
Brady.
Colts fire Frank Reich? Who did they fire mid-year and they bring in Jeff Saturday and to coach their
was
last
Frank
8
Reich,
games?
yeah.
It was Frank.
Yeah.
And he wins that first game, and then he loses out, right?
What
At
a
least
Colt
you-
man.
At least you give Phil Rivers a full off season if he gets hired, but I feel like guys with no NFL coaching experience, I feel like you got to find someone who's been in an NFL building in a coaching.
Man, I would be okay
Yeah,
with
I
Philip
don't-
Rivers being an NFL head coach if he just was an NFL quarterbacks coach for a while or
Yeah.
an offensive coordinator or something
Like
for
high
a
school.
year.
And obviously, we know that he possesses the tools to run an offense, right? He's done it throughout his career. He's a very talented quarterback, and he owns the mental game. But he hasn't coached a collegiate team. He hasn't coached. I mean, he's coached Alabama high school football. It's elite. And then the other side.
I
of
mean,
it,
we're not
Yeah.
even he hasn't even coached it may be even a different story if he's coaching a group of 5 college school
yeah,
or
Trent
just
Dilfer
something.
at UAB. That's worked out very well.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
what we're doing. I don't know what the Bills are doing, bro.
The other side
No.
of this is ownership came out, right, and had a press conference where they essentially just dunked on Keon Coleman, who is on the
Oh my
roster
God.
still. Like, he's still under contract. I don't understand. Like, Keon Coleman is like this pendulum for the Buffalo Bills. He's like their fourth receiver. I don't understand how he is like the breaking point for this organization. Like, it's really not that
We
deep
talked
with
about this
Keon
last
Coleman.
week, bro.
I just like, what's the deal? Like, why is Keon Coleman the like point of access for dunking on the Bills at
God.
this point? Like, what has he done to deserve that? Besides,
Yeah.
like, obviously they draft him with a
Yeah.
high second round pick, and he's been okay to below average. But like, what do you want out of the kid, right? Like, he's getting dunked
Bro,
on relentlessly.
You gotta. You see the autograph thing that he said to the owner after it's trying to sign his contract. So it's going popular where after he got drafted he was signing his contract. You know, like the whole like the usual thing. After you get drafted, you're in the draft room or you're in the room and you're signing the logos in the back, everything like that. And he looks at the owner or GM, someone high in the Bills organization. He goes, "Do I sign this like an autograph?" And
Yeah.
and the Bills GM was like, yeah, however you sign it. And he's like, but like an autograph?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, this
I
is
wish
awful.
I wish we had Jared on to talk about this because he's so tapped into the Bills. Like, he's living and dying with every moment that has happened. But yeah, just a very weird situation. I am
Yeah.
curious to see who they go out and get. I'm assuming it won't be Phil Rivers. I would imagine they'll hire someone with some experience, but TBD.
There's
We'll
no
see.
way, dude.
I want to.
Or they won't, and it'll be Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and hey, you know what? Maybe I bet you Josh Allen has a decent amount of say in who they're going to hire because I feel like he's come out and pretty publicly said like that he was blindsided by the fact that they'd fire McDermott. So
Oh,
we'll see.
there goes Austin.
Yeah, well,
The internet's up 3-0 on Austin today.
he keeps joining back, and whenever he's made his points since he's joined back, I feel like they've been fairly clear. Okay, this is
As soon as his point is over, he's out.
yeah.
The internet.
I'm going to give you a list of coaching changes and hires that have been made in the past week, and I'm going to point at Brendan, you go first, whoever. Just pick one out that interests you, and we'll talk about why, and then so we won't have to cover all of them. But the Miami Dolphins hired Jeff Hafley to be their head coach, former Packers defensive coordinator who had done some pretty good things with that defense. Prior to that, he was the head coach of Boston College, who was not good. Mike McDaniel is hired as the offensive coordinator of the LA Chargers to take over that unit. Jesse Minter gets hired as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Robert Saleh takes the Tennessee job. Kevin Stefanski takes over as the head coach in Atlanta. And Eric Bieniemy returns to Kansas City to reclaim his position as offensive coordinator that he left 3 years ago when they hired Matt Nagy and ruined their offense. So yeah, Brendan, any of those, which one do you want to talk about?
I kind of I thought that, well, one, as an Arizona fan, I don't know how we lose out a bidding war to Tennessee for Robert Saleh, and maybe that wasn't the right coach for them. I do want to talk about Mike McDaniel going to the Chargers.
Now, again,
do you think this is this like a retool year for him?
I think this year
I wonder, does he do this job for 1 year, and if the Chargers have a top 10 offense, he's immediately back in the conversation to coach?
Yes, 100%. This is a status reclamation type year for Mike McDaniel. He's just trying his resume has been tarnished because he's had to play with a banged up Tua with an awful defense. And he's had to pay a lot of money to keep Tyreek Hill in the building and pay Tua, which a lot of it is out of his control at this point. I feel like he's done the best he could have. He is going to take this job, hopefully turn the Chargers into a top 5 offense because he has the tools to do it, and then just go take a head coaching job next year. That would be my guess. Austin, your thoughts on Mike McDaniel before we lose you?
You remember when I cut my dick and balls off for the Bears to win a Super Bowl? I think I'd cut my dick and balls to get a good fucking connection on Riverside, bro. This shit's gonna kill me.
We may need to we could maybe explore other platforms. But again, like the rest of us are.
Well, I will say that we could say that, but Graham, you and I have had zero issues.
I've disconnected once in like 22. This is episode 22. I've had one connectivity issue ever.
We're
So.
we're gonna.
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh.
Mike McDaniels.
Go ahead. Go now.
Okay. Fucking Mike McDaniels. If he go Los Angeles.
Yeah. Nope. It's cooked. Lance, your thoughts on Mike McDaniel?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw where he's actually gonna still do the interview for Buffalo's head coaching.
Yeah, he's still taking head coaching jobs.
I think that's interesting to look at. I think I'm interested to see if he actually he pulls a flip in the transfer portal and he decides to go head coach somewhere else after saying he's going to go to LA. I think he's a great OC in my opinion. I think that's where he should be for now at least. I don't know. Maybe I think he's a good head coach. I think he's a good coach, but I still think I think him under Harbaugh and a thing like that is a good fit in my eyes.
Yeah,
it makes sense to me. But
I'm very curious because whenever he got to Miami, he built that entire offense based on speed, right?
yeah,
But I don't know if that's necessarily his MO. I think he built that team. He helped build that team in that way to maximize Tua's skill set. I'm curious what moves LA will make now that they bring in McDaniel to be their OC with a Justin Herbert, right? Because Justin Herbert is not Tua. He doesn't.
No.
Justin Herbert has infinitely more arm strength than Tua has.
He's intelligent.
And he's mobile. Tua was so good whenever Tua was good. He was so good at getting the ball out quickly to his receivers and letting them make plays. He found his first read very easily, and he would find that guy. Justin Herbert has had to make a career out of extending plays, making just these crazy plays. I'm curious to see how different this scheme will be for Justin Herbert because it won't be the same, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Give me another hire that you're interested in, Lance.
Fucking dogs are going ape shit. I'm sorry. I'm interested in Minter. I want to see how he does as head coach. I think it's a solid hire. I think that's one of the best hires out of
this cycle,
so to speak, because he's going to Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the one I'm most interested in. I don't know if I'd say excited. I don't know what term to use. I think when I look at this, even Harbaugh going to New York, right?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens next because you have it, dude. Because when I look at the Giants on paper, right? If I excuse the record, if I excuse the just anything, if I just look at a base value and I look at the New York Giants roster and who they have, not hurt, nothing. I think if you put the right coach in there, they exceed. Barring injuries, barring Malik Neighbors, Terrence ACL, barring everything. Like a healthy Scat, a healthy
Yeah,
Dart.
then they're gonna have to get Cam Scatterbu back.
Yeah, and dude, that team I think is complete with a good head coach. That's when it comes in. It's was it Daboll's fault that everything went wrong, or was it the fact that their team was just a dumpster fire this year and everyone flew out their knee and got hurt, broke their ankle backwards and whatnot?
I think I think John Harbaugh is certainly a floor raiser, right? I think Brian Daboll was a fine NFL head coach. I don't think that a lot of the Giants' issues had nothing to do with him.
Exactly, that's the thing.
But John Harbaugh does that type of season that they had this year will not happen under John Harbaugh.
I don't think it does.
I'm excited to see that too. I also wanted to talk about Minter as well.
Yeah.
Because that move is, I think, again, whenever you hire a defensive-minded head coach like Jesse Minter, it's all about who that guy hires to be his offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
Because their defense, I think, that was their biggest weakness. They needed to improve on that side of the ball. And they got better throughout the year, but I think that Jesse Minter is going to revamp this Ravens defense and turn it back into the unit that we saw whenever Mike Macdonald was their DC. Now, the question is can he bring in the OC that is going to unlock Lamar Jackson? Because if that's the case, then the Ravens immediately are right back in the Super Bowl tier, right? They go under 500 this year. If he brings in an OC that does the right things, then yeah, this team's borderline.
Dude, that roster is ridiculous.
AFC favorite. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like I think it's insane that they go under 500. Like that team has a former MVP, one of the greatest running backs in the modern era. You have Zay Flowers, who had a good year. I mean, what do you? I think he had 1,000 yards receiving at least.
Yeah, probably.
Defense is ridiculous. They have a good line. Like I don't know how that team doesn't succeed.
Yeah, and I do believe that defense will be like very strong next year.
Very good. I think it will be too.
The Giants this year just seem to collapse. Like they were in every game, and then it would be like last 10 minutes collapse. The game in Denver was ridiculous.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of Philly that one game.
It's
like
that was awesome. That was frankly just awesome.
The New York Giants were I'm in like a pick 'em pool, and the New York Giants week in week out were the team that was like they're better than this team. I'm going to pick them to win, and then they lose the game. And like you say, comedic fashion. That won't happen.
I'm also interested in Stefanski a bit because I think we could have a similar issue with him. His downfall in Cleveland was that he didn't have a quarterback, right? I think that really held him back. We got a similar problem in Atlanta.
I don't even know if that was his problem, though. He fucking whooshed out Baker because he wanted a massage therapist. Went wrong. And then that's where everything happened. You know, I don't understand how you push a guy who brings back your friend. And this is not even me being an Oklahoma stroker, right? I think genuinely the fact that he pushed out Baker Mayfield, who was like this dude was playing on 2 torn labrums, both his shoulders were jacked. He's chucking the ball, he's slinging it. He's bringing I think he took the Browns to a wild card game, no? Or at least
they beat Pittsburgh.
He won a playoff game.
They almost beat the Chiefs in the division.
This dude was gritty. I mean, it's your first overall pick, right? Obviously, he had some down years. It wasn't great, but you push him out for Deshaun Watson, and then everything just became a train rail of effect after that. Which obviously the Browns are notoriously for dog shit QBs. That's not even just fancy. That's just an all-time thing. But I don't know, I don't even think you can blame the Cleveland thing on the QB situation, right? Because I mean, sure, Shedeur sucks, but
there's a lot of problems with Cleveland.
I think that org just sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's just the organization sucks itself. But what does Stefanski have to do in Atlanta to make him successful or prove that he's good?
I mean, that team needs to win the South at some point, right? Like
they have the roster, bro.
The offensive talent is there, and they've just been waiting to be unlocked, right?
Dude, the defensive talent is there. Their secondary is ridiculous.
Drake London and Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts you've spent 3 top 10 picks on 3 offensive weapons, and then you spent a 4th top 10 pick on a young quarterback that you really believed in Michael Penix. Yeah. You have to figure out how to make Penix just like a slightly above average NFL quarterback that gets the ball out to Drake London, to Kyle Pitts, and lets Bijan Robinson do what he does. And there's no reason that this Atlanta group with Kevin Stefanski, who I think is a good coach overall, there's no reason that team should not be a favorite in the NFC South and at least host a playoff game in the next 2 years.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
They are playing in a division that's very winnable. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Bryce Young's taking the South. It's his division now.
I'm happy for Carolina. We didn't really talk, or I didn't get a chance to talk about them. Just happy for their season. We can move on.
Yeah. Good for them. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to baseball now, which I'd love to. I'm going to pass it to Austin because the big move this week is the Mets are retooling their team and they trade for Freddie Peralta, who's the franchise cornerstone for the Brewers, and
they went to the farm system down in Milwaukee.
And your beloved Tobias Myers. Let's give Austin the chance to give an ode to Tobias Myers with his internet.
Yeah.
Can he do
My
it?
fucking connection stays good. Motherfuckers.
Go
Anyways,
outside and start yodeling.
So I don't know. It's so tough because Freddie, I mean, just wise, he's one of the best pitchers in Brewers history. Been there for a while, and he would have hit, which he's going to hit here, but he would have hit free agency a lot earlier. But in 18, dude, he signed like a 5-year, $15 million to stay in Milwaukee, and it's like, holy shit, dude, bargain, right? And especially last year, with that being a career, I'm more pissed about Tobias. I'm a Tobias Myers guy. You know, his story's awesome. But oh my gosh, dude, it sucks so much. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing as Devin Williams. It's going to be the same as every star athlete that plays, you know, for the Warriors. They're going to keep him until about Corbin Burns. It's just this unwillingness to pay players because you are a quote unquote small market team, even though we were just talking about it before the episode. I mean, you did out $88 million to Christian Yelich. Your biggest free agent signing is Lorenzo for $80 million. Like that's obviously no disrespect to Lorenzo. He was awesome in Milwaukee, but the unwillingness to re-sign, which I get it with they're super fucking weird because, you know, which I guess I get it due to, you know, how often injuries happen, how often arm injuries happen, you know, what happens when a pitcher hits a certain age, you know, velocity and that, right? But it's just so frustrating, man. You had two top of the line guys, and which the two prospects in return, this is a way better package than what Burns. Let's make that fucking clear. Like, holy shit. Top 100 you know, two top 100 prospects. I don't get it. I never will. And hope this lockout in 27 is gonna just hopefully
Can we talk about that
the salary cap situation
eventually
because
too?
it is absolutely unfucking real what is going on in baseball right now. So fucking stupid. And I just hate how small teams bitch out every year and say, well, we do this. No, you do have the money to do this. You are
Preach.
The Brewers have spent $1.25 million this year for agency, and they just made the NLCS. You got swept in the NLCS. What teams do is you run that team back, you add on to that team, and then your team is better. They're backtracking. I just don't like, obviously, like you're, it's so fucking frustrating.
I just think the Brewers, what would be frustrating too, is they keep expecting these prospects to come in and just set the world on fire. You're not going to have Jacob Mizorowski just pop out of AAA every year.
Yeah.
No.
But you had that with Minter, and you had that with Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
Like, you already knew you had an elite pitcher. I don't know. That's the thing.
So
baseball, like owners in baseball, to me, because of the lack of salary floor or really a salary cap, everyone acts like they're a small market team unless you're the Dodgers and Mets basically now. Like,
yeah, and
it's
just not the fucking case.
I guess now my Cubs, you know, Tom Ricketts got finally tired of Cubs fans saying that he shouldn't have the biggest disparity between revenue and payroll in baseball, but it's not like.
Well, that's the
I always tell this to people. The Kansas City Royals
market.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I always tell people, like, the Kansas City Royals could be in on these players too. They have a billionaire too that owns the team. Like,
yeah.
The Milwaukee Brewers, in theory, could have signed Alex Bregman. They have a billionaire who owns them, right? Like,
yeah,
they just choose not to.
I just think the lack of been put into, you know, putting boundaries around the baseball. It's now gotten to a point like it never felt like an issue. It always was an issue, right? But I feel like now more than ever, I feel like just fan bases are so frustrated seeing the same teams go out and pay top dollar for these guys whenever your team could be making that same decision. I think it goes back to the St. Louis Cardinals too. Like that is a team that should be spending top dollar to keep their team relevant, and they have refused to spend top dollar. Their biggest free agent signed what they signed as to come and mind you, they signed him as a catcher and then forced him to play first base. Absolutely fucking mind-boggling. Then you go out and sign Sonny Gray. Like those are your two big moves that you've made in the 5 years, and those are pitiful moves. And spoiler, I am releasing an article today about about pod, but like it's so frustrating. That division is so unbelievably good. It's better than any other division in baseball. Like you look up and down at the young talent coming up in this division, and teams are doing such a good job developing their players, except the St. Louis Cardinals. But that topic for a different day.
Trust me, dude. They're turning it
like,
around.
but the problem is they can't develop. Anyways, like your division is set up for future success. You're fumbling everything. It's fucking frustrating because Jackson Churio, he's going to be 29, the same age as Freddie Peralta once his contract. The Brewers are just going to ship him off. The Brewers are going to ship off, they're going to ship off they're going to ship off probably Jacob Mizorowski at some point. And that just doesn't get as much frustrating as that. You're going to go to. You know what teams they're going to get traded to. You know what teams that they're going to sign with.
Hey, but Pat Murphy has a pocket pancake.
And if I was Pat Murphy, bro, I didn't feel bad about Craig Counsell leaving Milwaukee. Is because Craig Counsell goes to Chicago and theoretically, way more resources at his disposal. But same thing. He's having to do the same exact thing. Yeah, they go out and sign Bregman this year. But, oh my gosh, dude. I feel bad for being a good fucking manager, man. He's so good at his job. And it's almost like you're wasting his job that he's done with this team because you're unwilling to go out there and help his team a legitimate World Series threat. It's just frustrating.
This is a compliment. It's going to start out not sounding like a compliment. I blame the Tampa Bay Rays for this. This is all their fault.
Yes, bro.
Because they, for 5 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, in the late 2010s and early 2020s, made a living out of. They developed so many arms, and so they just had a few good hitters, and they just had arm after arm after arm. And then what would they do? As soon as those guys came to market, they'd trade him. They'd bring up a new guy, and he was just as good, and he was replaceable. And the Rays developed so well for 5 years that there are teams that are following that model. Milwaukee is doing the exact same thing now, and Milwaukee is doing it with pretty much the same level of success, right? They've done a tremendous job developing these arms.
I don't know if you know this, but I forget which Premier League soccer team hired a bunch of Tampa Bay Rays front office people.
Yeah, that's a screwed move.
People are just
Matt Arnold.
People just
Matt Arnold.
Whatever you do, whatever those guys are doing and whatever their scouting is, it's working. Have a competent team for cheap.
Yeah.
But the problem is not everyone is the Rays.
Yeah. Well, the issue is, Andrew Friedman came from the Rays. He takes over as the Dodgers, and now the Dodgers are doing a great job developing their arms. But on top of it, they're willing to pay essentially $1 trillion to bring in all these high-end guys, so it doesn't even matter, right? They can bottom out the rest of their roster as far as salary goes because they're going to be able to develop those guys, and they can pay all their money to 10 of the 40 best players in baseball. And you can't blame them. right? Like it's a fault of the system.
No, that I think
They're doing it the right
that's
way.
that we keep. I feel like we keep going back to on this podcast is like you as much as you want to be mad at the Dodgers, and yes, are they abusing a broken system? Absolutely, 100%. But that system is broken. It is a broken system that baseball has refused to take any for. I mean, Rob Manfred's just sitting there saying, "Well, we're just." Are you fucking stupid? Like that doesn't solve anything that's happening.
Yeah.
It just like, oh my god, the salary cap should be in place, but a salary floor should also be in place. Should be a level of your team has to spend X amount of money and you can spend X amount of. That's it. That's all that it fucking takes. Teams aren't broke. Like these teams are broke, and it's like they're just. Pittsburgh Pirates are broke. The Milwaukee Brewers, the Tampa Bay Rays, all these teams have no money to spend. Bull fucking shit, dude. Every single
By the
fucking
way-
Brewers home game last year out every fucking week. And it's like, oh gosh, dude. Yeah, fuck these guys.
You know what's actually funny? You know what the team that is acting like they're a small market team that has no money, I think it's the worst. It's the fucking Yankees. The
Yeah.
Yankees are even acting like they have no money.
Which we can pivot to. Actually, I do want to before we get to the Bellinger re-sign. I want to talk about the Mets a little bit because they add Peralta, they add Tobias Myers. We talked about last week they added Bo Bichette, and then on top of that,
I can't wait. I can't wait for them to just barely be a wild card team. It's going to be so
They're
funny.
going to implode somehow.
had
Somehow,
a
some way.
I love the buy low on Luis Robert for Luis Angel Acuna. That's a great move because at this point you've pushed Luis Angel Acuna is now your like 8th second baseman, right? This was my issue last week is like how many second basemen can you realistically roster and build a playoff infield? But that's the move that they've made. That's what they're gonna do. At least
Can
now,
you guys go? Well, before you go on too much, can you talk about the potential of a lockout and what that kind of means?
Go ahead, Austin.
I think.
So,
Okay. Is he coming
so
now?
we saw a little bit of this in, what was it, 21, I think was the last time you
Yeah.
saw a little bit of a lockout. So essentially,
Yeah.
the players will sign, like they have their like whole fucking NBA has the same thing, right? NBA, NFL, they all
Yeah.
have their players association. And then contract that says, this is how guaranteed how yada yada will work, whatever. We'll agree on this salary cap. It always how the players are getting paid. It's a union, essentially. Well, what's going to happen is the players don't want because I mean baseball it's a completely different fucking sport contract wise because you'll see players.
Yeah.
I mean we just saw Juan Soto 50 deal. You don't see that in other sports, and what's happening is teams and players like, hey, listen, we want a salary cap. Owners are saying cap to combat what the Dodgers are doing. And players, like last summer, Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred got in a big-ass argument about it because Harper is saying that the players aren't going to agree on a salary cap because they limit their money-making opportunities. Whatever you want to say on that. But it's going to you're going to see smaller contracts. Like we talked about last week, you're seeing smaller contracts. You just sign a 3-year deal. You're going to see pitchers sign shorter contracts because of this lockout that's going to happen. And so they're going to have.
By the way, that's good. That's good for baseball. I hate that baseball.
Yeah.
I love baseball, but I hate that players don't become free agents until they're like 30.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the time they get paid is like, oh, well, we might start seeing the decline. But it's like, okay, shorter contracts means more interesting free agency every year.
Yes. Yes.
That and
Anyway, I
Absolutely,
think it's just good for
1000%.
baseball
And
because that's the thing. The NFL that's how the NFL dominates all off season too. It's like their draft is great, and then free agency and trades in the off season are like cinema. But you just don't see that in baseball.
Maybe that's another discussion that gets talked about, right? Is like how like when you draft a player and they have X amount of years of control is an issue, right? Where you're seeing players. I mean, you see like a Mizorowski, right? He's absolutely fucking electric, and the Brewers have 6 years, right? Like he'll be 28 when he agency, and it's like that is when people will sit there and say, well, you can't sign him too long because what happened as a pitcher, and like these conversations that they were having, they've been having these kind of conversations decades, right? Like this conversation. What is the appropriate age to not sign? And it's like you still don't know because sometimes the guy will go out there like they're coming out there last year after having 2 Tommy John surgeries and horrible injury luck, and he goes out there and pitches the whole year. And it's like baseball's in such a weird spot. The lockout is right. Rob Manfred sucks at his fucking job. The play obviously going to advocate for more money. That's just what they're going to do. And Manfred, has just, and these owners, it's the owners. They're all like signaling that, well, the Dodgers guy, the Dodgers are the bad guy, and the Mets are the bad guys. Like those are the bad guys. It's like you have this system set for teams to take advantage of this. Like, this is your fault. This is all your fault. I fucking hate Rob Manfred. If you I think we talked about this a while back. Holy shit, man! The commissioners in these sports fucking suck. Like, they fucking suck.
Rob Manfred
Rob Manfred sucks. I mean, yeah, no, it's so unfucking believably pitiful. Tucker's coming out, and we'll just talk about that for a second.
I was going to segue into
saying this is good for baseball. This is good for. I think that, this is like you think baseball is a good spot? Are you fucking? You're stupid. I hate you, Kyle.
I mean these are
the reasons why people are complaining.
This is just textbook. Like, I'm benefiting from the system. I'm the one that just got paid $64 million to like show up in LA. So I'm going to support it. That's as clear as day as that's what this is.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, why would he say anything different?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's right.
And
it's not to blame Kyle Tucker. He's doing exactly what he should do.
Exactly. Everything that he says is correct.
But for him,
my God, it's so
I think the salary floor is the hill I would die on. But the owners will hate that.
Yeah.
For the love of God, Colorado Rockies, you have to spend some money.
Right. And like, oh my God. And like, oh my gosh, the Milwaukee Brewers, they just made the NL.
Nope. There he went.
He's going to come back.
There he's gone.
Austin, we stopped hearing you after you said, for the love of God, the Milwaukee Brewers, and then silence.
He's gone.
Nope. The bubble is popped.
I think that's a nice.
I feel like it's a nice segue. We let Austin vent a little bit.
Yeah.
But can we talk about Kyle Tucker a little bit more?
Sure.
Because I think it came out like the Blue Jays were at like 10 for 350. And he ends up signing like 4 for 240.
Which
but
is
I kind of think
$25 million more in AAV. So, like, obviously.
Yeah. Is that like I feel like whenever you get to be like Kyle Tucker's age, like he's going to be, I think 35 or something when that contract ends. No, I don't know if he's 30 yet. Hang on.
That's out. I'll look at his age. Continue.
He's 29. Okay, so he's going to be 33 when that contract ends. Like, I don't know. This is probably
Recently 29.
like, is he going to get more than a 3-year contract at the end of this? Probably not.
I think it depends on how good he is over the next 4 years, right? I mean, he possesses all the tools to be a top 20 player in baseball, right? It's just, does he stay healthy and is he able to maximize his abilities? Because there's a world in which we're coming out of this in 4 years and Kyle Tucker has won an MVP, right? Like that's.
There's
in the
also a
realm of
world
possibility.
where the Dodgers have shipped him off somewhere.
I would say like this is a calculated risk for the Dodgers because they're going to give this guy $60 million a year, and if he doesn't pan out, they're like, oh well, he can hit seventh and play right field every day, and like that doesn't hurt us. We have other guys in our lineup that are able to do the same thing. So
Yeah,
let's.
I think Kyle Tucker didn't really help himself out a ton last year with the Cubs, but dang, like it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I think if he had hit, I don't know, close to 35 homers with the Cubs and had been even close to a decent defender, because he was okay in right field last year, but I think his defense really took a step back. But it's crazy that the Dodgers are the only ones acting like they're a top 4 most valuable team in baseball. Really, it's the Dodgers and Mets, and then everyone else is acting like they're poor.
Yeah. Which maybe by comparison, yes, but like you can still go out and pay guys. If you are a big market team that is trying to be competitive and you're not at least in these conversations, like the Yankees, like the Cubs, like whoever, that's really what I think is emblematic of the problem. Is whenever the Dodgers are in a different stratosphere than everyone else, that's like in their tier, that's an issue.
I would be most frustrated though if I was Austin. Like I totally get where he's at because his team made the NLCS last year. You're like a step from the World Series, and you just act like that was our chance. We're done. Let's retool and go back for some prospects. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's pivot now. Lance, give us a 2-minute preview of this UFC card tonight because there are names on it that I recognize. And it's usually the sign of a good, pretty solid card.
Wait, hang on. I want to say this. I've actually watched more. I've never watched UFC at all before like this year.
Yeah.
And I've watched 2 cards with some buddies. So
Yeah.
I kind of get the appeal a little bit, but I want to hear your take.
Yeah. So the main event is Paddy Pimblett, which I don't know if you guys know. He's a little English bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Talks like this. He's fighting Justin Gaethje, they're both great fighters, and I think they're fighting for the interim belt because the champion Ilia Topuria had to take a leave because his wife cheated on him or something like that. But besides the point, so it's technically a title fight, I'm pretty sure. But the co-main event is Sean O'Malley, who's, if you guys watch anything at all, he's kind of like one of the poster boys of the UFC.
That's Patty.
This is Patty the Batty.
Yeah, that's Patty the Batty. And dude, he's awesome.
Because he's someone who you look at and you don't think he's much, and he'll take your head off. And he's also a black belt. I think he's a second-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Bro, the bowl cut though. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's chopped. But he's a stud. I think he's the favorite tonight, actually, which is kind of crazy. But then obviously the co-main event is Sean O'Malley against Yadong Song, which is they're both great fighters. And honestly, Sean kind of peaked after he beat Aljamain Sterling, and I think he's kind of searching back for one of those big wins. And I think this is the one he could do. But then again, I could see where he doesn't win tonight, but I still think he's the favorite tonight. And I don't know if you guys have watched it at all. You can look it up, but Derek Lewis, man, he's hilarious. He's I think he's the 3rd fight on the main card tonight, and he's one of the most what's the word for it? I'm just gonna go goofy. He's just goofy as hell. Like after his fights, he says some off the wall shit. He always does some wild stuff. Like he'll hump the mat. He'll hump stuff. Like he's just weird. But tonight's just a good card. I mean, when you have three names that people know regularly that aren't every other week watching UFC, I think it's a big thing. Plus, it's the first card on Paramount Plus. They're shifting from ESPN into pay-per-view style.
Okay. That makes
So
sense now.
that's pretty big. Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
big.
excited
So
to see because I feel like
Wait, are they going to be behind a paywall on Paramount as well, though?
no,
I think
it's just like if you're paying for Netflix and you're watching like those boxes.
Oh, yeah, that's way better. Yeah.
It's just the new. It's kind of like Peacock watching an NFL game on Peacock. It's just you pay for the subscription and you just watch.
Well, the thing is, the
is huge
subscription
because-
to Paramount Plus is like what, $10.99 a month or something, $12.99 a month.
If that,
And like,
I don't know.
yeah, a pay-per-view was like, I think what did I look? It was like $50 or something one time, or sometimes more. Like, I'm not watching that. I'm not. Who's paying
So it
for
was
that?
$80. It was
Yeah, I've seen
80,
80.
almost $90.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And who the fuck wants to pay $90 to watch someone get submitted in 5 seconds? You know, like that just feels like I'm like dog, like because you never know with these fights. You can walk out there and it's like a Jorge Masvidal flying knee if in 3 seconds the fight's over. You know, and no one wants to pay for that. No one wants to pay $90 for that. That's why so many people illegally stream this stuff. I think it's huge for them to go away from the pay-per-view style because it's just a money grab at that point. Like, and plus the fighters don't make enough where you're charging $90 for pay-per-view. It's like you'd think they'd be paying these fighters so much money, but they're not. So I don't know. I'm glad they're shifting away from that because personally I hated it. But yeah, that's what I said. Patty's the favorite by a lot.
Patty's a favorite, O'Malley's a favorite, and then Derek Lewis is
Yep.
the dog.
He's
So,
actually underdog, which he's won I think the last 4 fights as an underdog. So I'm not surprised.
all right.
But it'll be interesting.
Interesting.
And if
Paramount
you
Plus.
you have Paramount Plus, you can tune in.
Okay. And then before we wrap it up, I'm going to show my bracket. We're going to go through the college basketball slate today. The one thing that I want to point out about the bracket this week, my favorite region I've done so far is just the bottom half of this West region here, which if you watched it all last night, the St. Louis Billikens are legit. And we did some tweeting
Holy
about them
shit,
on
yeah,
the
they
Five
are.
Out- on the five
Holy
out
moly.
pod, but they crushed St. Bonaventure, who's like not bad. Like they're a fine A10 team. Utah State played in a
Well, they're like 1-5 in the A10.
yeah.
They were at
they're
1-5.
sliding, but they're not bad. Utah State, who won a great game against Colorado State last night in FS1. The Mountain West always delivers, and then Nebraska ball, 2 seed in the West, playing in OKC, Brendan's beloved, and then up here, I think BYU would probably run through any of these teams, but it's just an interesting region because there's not a lot of traditional power to be had. And if this were to be how the bracket shakes out, one of these teams gets to play in an Elite Eight, and that's electric. But yeah, go to 5outpod.com. We have the updated bracket on there.
What do you have bids by conference?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I
Got-
saw you had that information there too.
Yep, I will pull that up. You can take a look. Yeah, the bubble picture, which this was all before the games yesterday. But the Big Ten gets 10. The SEC gets 9. The ACC gets 9, which is a departure from what we've seen in the past. The ACC is really good this year. Like in the couple years past, Duke's been good, and everyone else has been whatever. Like you've got, like Carolina's good sometimes. Clemson will be in and out. The ACC has some depth this year, and it's really interesting. A lot of people say the Big 12 is the best conference in basketball right now. I think they have 6 of the top 15 teams, maybe. But aside from that top 6, I've got UCF in, and the rest of the Big 12 is out. So there's that. And then the Big East with 4, and then the Mountain West, A10, and West Coast Conference each with 2 bids apiece.
Yeah, it's with the Mountain West, or sorry, the Big East. Like, just I went to college in Nebraska. It's like been almost it's been weird to see Creighton just kind of fall off.
Yeah, and I
This
mean
year.
the fact they're still like in the bubble picture. I've got them in my next 4 out. Same with Butler. Butler got a good win. I guess not a good win. Marquette stinks. That's a big issue with the Big East right now. There's two sides of it. Marquette is not good, and Marquette has been good under Shaka Smart. The other side of it is Ed Cooley's Georgetown, which has been a huge story the past week, because after their game at UConn last Saturday, he went on in the post-game presser and was talking about how he was blessed to have the opportunity to coach these young men, and how the team is blessed to be 9-9.
I saw that.
And 1-6 in the Big East, and they didn't win either of their games this week, so they continue to lose.
They're still blessed.
Still blessed. Okay, and now I'm gonna share the slate here. Ole Miss and Kentucky tipped off at 10. I forgot this was happening. What have we got on the score there? Kentucky's up 26-19. Kentucky's kind of figured 29-19. They're figuring it out. They've won 4 in a row. They're up to a 7 seed. We've been talking the past couple weeks about how they may or may not make the tournament at all. They've won enough games recently to where they're in. Now it's like,
I would love to see Kentucky miss the tournament.
That would be fun. Nebraska ball starts their game at Minnesota in kind of a trappy spot, right?
It's a trap game.
It's a look ahead spot because you've got the game next week in Ann Arbor against Michigan. And Minnesota's
This would be their 5th conference road win, by the way.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're
If
undefeated in the
Nebraska gets a
league.
win.
Yeah. Minnesota is like a textbook definition sneaky not ass Big Ten team. Like that's what the tier list is made for.
They've literally played everyone close. And
Yeah.
Braden Frager is out.
Yes,
today,
and that
so-
could be very important. So yeah, Nebraska ball's in a really good spot. Like I said, they're a 2 seed. With a win against Michigan, I'd assume they'd make their way up to the 1 line. So
Wait a
which is
second.
unbelievable.
Sorry. I just looked down at Vandy and Mississippi State. Does that take tickets as low as $936?
It does. That has to be a typo. There's no way.
How not
paying-
possible?
There's no way anyone's paying $936 to go to the
That can't
hump
be right.
to see the 14th best team in the SEC, especially whenever I'm assuming Starkville, Mississippi is getting flooded with snow, right? I would imagine tickets would be plummeting, right? Prices should be falling with the weather.
I sorry, that's all I could focus on. There's
Yeah,
no
that's-
game on the slate
That can't be right.
What?
I mean, Pitt.
Click on it. Click the link.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Vivid Seats here. Yeah,
Input
sure,
your
it's
credit card information.
Let's see what we have here. Okay, that's. Oh wait, what am I?
You're looking at Arkansas tickets.
I know why did that happen.
You're looking at all of them.
This is just all Arkansas games. Mississippi State Bulldogs men fast. What's today? The 7th?
Today's the 24th.
Yeah, wait. That's
Okay.
weird. Yeah, this is. Hey, I don't know.
Exclusive tickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know where they're at, but yeah, 900. Yeah, maybe they're sold out. You can only just walk in, with the ticket. Carolina Virginia is a big game. Virginia has emerged as like the clear number 2 team in the ACC, but Carolina, obviously a road game. It's going to be tough. They're 6.5-point dogs, but they're in need of a win if they want to stay competitive.
Does Georgia play this weekend? I know Georgia's been
Yes.
they've been kind of on a heater.
I've got them as a 6 seed. They dropped that game. They had a buzzer beater loss to Ole Miss, I think, last midweek, and I think they've won 3 in a row since. So they're up to a 6 seed. Villanova UConn is a big game in the Big East. I think Villanova is the 2nd or 3rd best team in the Big East, but UConn at home, 11.5-point favorites. They just kind of need to take care of business. There we go. Georgia's at Texas. You can get in
Man,
for
big
12
slate
bucks.
today.
3.5-point dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs. Which Texas is another team that, like, their resume is bad, but, like, they can beat anyone. They beat Vandy, and I think they beat Alabama. Like, I think the 2 best teams in the SEC are teams they beat. What else do we have? Houston, Texas Tech. Big game.
That's the big one today.
It's a rematch, I believe. I believe these teams have already played. As I go to the Texas Tech schedule. Yes, they played on January. Give me a date on here. January 6th. Houston won by 4 at home. So Texas Tech's looking to get their lick back. 2 top 15 teams, like I said. The Big 12, like I said, the top of the Big 12 is unbelievable. And then what's actually the game of the day, Brendan, is at 2 p.m. we've got the Illinois Fighting Illini at the Purdue Boilermakers.
That's ever since Brad Underwood has made Illinois relevant, this has become like one of the best games of the Big Ten year every single year.
I mean, 2 very consistent programs. Purdue's a 5.5-point favorite. Illinois is without Kylan Boswell, so that makes sense. And Purdue's at home. I legitimately believe that Illinois is a better basketball team at full strength than Purdue is, but we'll see what happens today.
The upside is crazy, yeah.
And then a couple other like under the radar games on the CW network. We've got Virginia Tech at Louisville. I'm assuming Michael Brown's going to play today because Louisville's 13.5-point favorites. They wouldn't be that big of a favorite without him. And then Iowa State at Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
Oklahoma
Virginia
State
Tech's got to stack a few conference wins together, though. Yeah. They've had some horrendously unlucky losses.
Awful luck. Auburn at Florida is a good game at 3, but Florida is rolling right now. They look to be the best team in the SEC right now. What else do we have?
Let's see. But I like Arkansas. LSU is sneaky not as bad as their record shows in conference.
Yeah, they had a strong enough non-con, but they're off the bubble picture for me right now. Utah BYU rivalry game. BYU should crush them. TCU Baylor, winner of that one probably gets back on the right side of the bubble picture, like on the bubble.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Working? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we got you.
We have 2 Lances
We
now.
do. That's interesting.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, there.
Okay, now.
Well,
Sunflower
One of the Lances died. Oh, rivalry game in Kansas.
4.5-point favorite in Manhattan. Should be a good game. Cal-Stanford rivalry game. These 2 teams are both sneaky not ass. Stanford's right on the bubble picture. But really, like I think the most interesting story of the day is this Tennessee-Alabama nightcap on ESPN. Alabama's a 6.5-point favorite. And largely I would say that's because, Tennessee hasn't been great. But Alabama has a player that's going to play today that was a starter on their 2023 team that was the number 1 overall seed in March Madness. He was their starting center. And after that year, he went to the G League. He's been in the G League for 3 years. He was in the G League earlier this month. And he will be suiting up for Alabama tonight. Because he was
How is that allowed?
He was granted a temporary restraining order by a judge in the Alabama Circuit Court system who is a donor to the basketball program. He has donated somewhere in the last 10 years between $100,000 and $250,000 to Alabama basketball. And this judge is in a seat where he can say, yeah, this guy can legally play for Alabama. I'm curious. They're going to have the appeal, I think, next Wednesday. And I'm assuming when they appeal it, it's going to be denied. So my guess is this guy, Charles Bediako, is going to play tonight for Alabama, probably help them beat Tennessee, and then not play again the rest of the year. And then we have the issue with the committee. How are they going to be able to judge this game for Alabama and for Tennessee whenever they're making the seed lines for the bracket?
I feel like this judge is this judge gonna like lose a law license or something? Like, is this like one of those things that could be so egregious, like abuse of power kind of thing?
I'm genuinely not sure because I feel like legally,
I'm no legal expert. But that just seems sus.
There's clearly no precedence for this, but I think if you were to talk about his legal right to play college basketball, I think that you can't legally say he can't play. I don't think that. I think the NCAA bylaws are written as such that he probably shouldn't be able to. But as an organization,
I thought as soon as you declare for the draft, you're done.
Well, there's the guy who joined Baylor. I'm sure you've heard about this, James Nagy, right? He joins Baylor. He was drafted in 2023, but he never played collegiate basketball. He'd played overseas. He went to the NBA. He was drafted. He played in the G League, and he came back this year. This guy has played 2 years at Alabama. He went to the G League, has been there for 3 years, and now is able to come back. Which,
Yeah, that makes no sense.
yeah, it's a interesting story that, yeah, I mean, like college basketball, the integrity of college basketball is being put at risk today, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a quote
Wow.
from Mark Emmert. Mark Emmert, who is the president of the NCAA. I don't know what his role is. Here we go. Statement, NCAA Senior Vice President. Oh, Dan Gavitt. It was not Mark Emmert. Dan Gavitt made this statement, which kind of sums up where we're at. If I can... Following a call with several years ago, the NCAA membership updated rules regarding how student athletes can gather information while making a decision on whether to enter the NBA draft or withdraw from the process to maintain their collegiate eligibility. To participate in the draft without losing eligibility, college players must request an evaluation from the NBA Undergraduate Advisory Committee. They also can participate in the NBA Draft Combine without compromising their eligibility. An agent certified by the National Basketball Players Association and the NCAA can pay for meals and transportation for players and their families during the agent selection process and for meetings with pro teams. Players have until 10 days following the NBA Combine in late May to decide whether to remain in the draft or return to compete in NCAA basketball. Players who remain in the draft forfeit college eligibility. If these rules surrounding the NCAA pre- and post-draft rules cannot be enforced, it would create an unstable environment for the student athletes, schools building a roster for the following season, and the NBA. The NCAA membership has a set of rules in place regarding the pre- and post-NBA draft eligibility that have clearly been in place and supported by all parties until these recent court challenges, which is essentially just a big statement saying we're trying and it's not working because we're toothless. But I feel like
it's like becoming more and more obvious that the NCAA doesn't really have any power.
yes, and I mean the last time the NCAA had any power was whenever they barred Luke Ford from immediately being eligible to play when he transferred to Illinois. The last time the NCAA did anything was to ban Luke Ford from playing his sophomore year at Illinois.
nope.
That's literally the last time that the NCAA has won a court ruling. But yeah, like it's the NCAA. Yeah, they just have no chance in the courts. They must have the worst set of lawyers. Like their attorneys must stink.
Or think about this: their legal precedent to have any power is so bad that they would lose anything in court. There could be that. Anyway, it's Nebraska ball time.
Yeah, good show. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out with college basketball. But yeah, we got to enjoy the games while we have them because it's just going to be a bunch of pros playing in 2 years at this rate. So enjoy the college kids while you can. Thank you guys for joining me once again. Links in the description, 5outpod.com. Check out the bracket. Check out the articles. Like and subscribe to the YouTube video. Thank you guys for listening, and we